Hi, and welcome to yet another video of AI in C#, where we're looking at the agent framework, and more specifically, multiple agents. There's lots of different options to do that. This is actually the most manual way using structured output, because sometimes we don't need to reinvent the wheel. I've used this a lot in the past because it's simple and it just works. So here we have the code, and let me run it for you so you can see it first, because this is just a small intent agent, meaning it needs to figure out if we are talking about movies, we are talking about music, or something else. And that is one agent figuring that out and passing it on to two other agents, depending on if it's movies and or music. And that works, or the reason why that's a good thing is you can often make the intent a smaller model, meaning it's cheaper, and then you can spend more resources on the right kind of instruction for a movie question versus a music question, for example. But if we just say hello to it, it will detect that it's an other question in this case and just greet us. But if I run it again and ask who is ABBA, it will detect that it's a music question and it gives an answer back. Right now I've set it so it's not allowed to write long text, so that's the reason for the short answers here. But let's see how this is implemented. So we just make our normal Azure OpenAI client or OpenAI client, depending on what we want. And then we make two chat clients, one for ChatGPT 4.1 mini for the intent, and one for the real answer. Then we are asking our questions like normal, and then we're making our intent agent, where we just say it needs to determine what type of question was asked, and it should never answer itself. Then we need to have it back as structured output, because we want to have an intent back if it was a movie question, music question, or another question. So we have this structured output, and that is what we're doing here. And right now, structured outputs are fairly cumbersome to work with. There is plans from the agent framework team to make it easier in the future, and I will make some videos on structured output once that's in. But the idea is that we just set the response format to be this intent result, and then we deserialize to that object back. And then we make a switch. So we don't need any fancy AI to choose who's next and anything, because we have the intent. And if the intent was a music question, we knew up a chat client with a slightly bigger model. It could have been that there was physics question and we needed a thinking model, or string theory question, while a simple music question can be handled by something more cheap. So, and this is just normal agent stuff with a music question, a movie question, and if it's other, we just let the intent agent answer itself. And that is multi-agent. Of course, as soon as this becomes more advanced, some of the more things like workflows makes much more sense. But for the simple stuff, we can do this very easily. So with that, thank you for attending this one, and see you in the next one.